Okay, so what I really want to share with you tonight is the scientific reason why now is the best time of the year to lose weight. And certainly I feel I'm coming from a perspective of authority and credibility as a naturopath and homeopath who's been in practice now for going on to 36 years and have dealt with many weight loss programs over the years. And definitely this one that I'm sharing with you this evening is by far the program that has delivered the most results, significant results, long-term benefits than any other program that I've worked with. And it's always really good to add some science and some understanding into why the program is so successful. And there's some literature that I recently came across which added a lot of credibility around the rapid and easy fat release program that we've been running over the number of years. So many of you, as perhaps not yourselves personally, I don't want to make that assumption, but many people out there post-Christmas are feeling tired, fat and sluggish. You know, we've had perhaps a window of holiday for many people, and there have been those indulgences, and perhaps some people have put on some weight and feel very much defeated by the fact that each year they just keep putting on, and don't find any successful program which is going to reduce those kilos. And basically it's that yo-yo dieting which many people go on with, that rebound of weight. So we're going to talk about the science of post-festivity weight loss, and particularly this mechanism known as your fat break, and have it work to your advantage. How to activate and accelerate your fat break when it fails, and at the same time, some of those traditional things that we've been working with about toxic load and abnormal fat stores and burning the abnormal fat, which tends to accumulate around the abdomen, the belly, bum, thighs, and hips and so forth. And it's all about releasing fat in a healthy way. It's about a holistic wellness program, which this certainly is, and it's about clean living and clean eating, and acknowledging the role that chemicals and toxins have to play as well. So let's first of all have a look at a few quick examples of people who have done this program and not just released weight, but also have experienced many other side benefits. And as you can see here, a picture of Mandy, who released 15 kilos during phase 2 of the program, which for her, that was a 40-day window, and shifted from 81 to 66 kilos. Now, her story suffered with irritable bowel syndrome for many, many years, in fact, 14 years on a daily debilitating basis, and almost instantly, once done in the program, she found her IBS symptoms just disappeared. And she's now 2 years since doing this program and has not had a bout of irritable bowel syndrome in those 2 years. And the range of products, and particularly the probiotic, she has found to be significantly beneficial to her ongoing health benefits and the maintenance of her weight as well. Erica and Russell, husband and wife, who'd had yo-yoed with many other programs over the years and had delivered no long-term results to them. They started the program, detoxed their body and their home. I'm going to touch on that in more detail as well, the importance of detoxing your home. They feel healthy now. They have a clean body, a clean house. Russell, who was on blood pressure medication and also cholesterol medication, is now off all that, and they're really pleased that they've set a great example to their 8-year-old son about how to live clean and how to lead a healthy life. And basically the results were Erica released 13 kilos during the window of time of the program in phase 2, and overall has released 25 kilos, and Russell a total of 30 kilos. You know, that's 55 kilos. That's some people's total body weight. And so, you know, they're very happy with what sort of results they've been able to achieve with this program. And now Eric, this is very typical where many guys do accumulate their weight around the abdomen. Found he was feeling old and slow and sluggish, and just imagine with a little bit of weakness in the knees how much an extra 20 to 38 kilos has impact on those weight-bearing joints. And as a result of releasing 38 kilos over a period in time, his knees are much more supple, he's much more active, and is playing a significant role in an active role of coaching now with a rugby team. So he's had significant results and certainly feels a lot younger than when he first started on the program. And here's a picture of a couple of twins, well, a set of twins, who did this program and had an outstanding result, both having thyroid problems, and particularly Anna on the left had significant health challenges in terms of a renal clot and was 15 minutes away from a silent death, to quote her ER doctors. And embracing this program and detoxing her home, she's totally transformed her health and her life and released 38 kilos, and Helene has released 50 kilos. And Anna was on a shoebox full of drugs when she was discharged from hospital. And over a period of time, in conjunction with the doctor and cardiologist, was able to reduce all her drugs, including warfarin, now 3 years ago, in fact 4 years ago now, and is not on any medical drugs of any sort. So she's totally transformed her life and her longevity as well. Okay, so let's talk about timing, and this is what I really want to focus on. You know, the little picture there on the right, all I got for Christmas was fat. Like, I'm sure there are people out there who feel exactly that way, that the gift that they didn't want was accumulation of fat, particularly around the waist or in guys and women as well, but perhaps some women carry it more around the buttocks and hips there. And what happens over this window of time? So typically, and this may not necessarily just be Christmas, New Year, but maybe you go on a cruise on a ship. Maybe you have lots of functions or weddings and engagements all happening in a short window of time. And so there is this window of time where there is an increased indulgence of rich foods, fats and sugars and carbohydrates and lots of fruits. You know, in summer we do have a lot of fruit available. As good as it is and full of antioxidants, it's still loaded full of fruit sugars. And the indulgence in the Christmas puddings and the mince pies and all this rich sauces and consumption of alcohol, because alcohol is very calorie loaded. And so it's all of this for some people that contributes to the fat stores. And often at those holiday times we're relaxing more, so we are less active. So what we have here is an excessive accumulation of calories or kilojoule intake and less calories or kilojoules that are being burned. So in this case, it's more calories in than what are being burned, and obviously that results in a fat accumulation. But understanding the body's physiological response to excess calorie or kilojoule intake will give you the edge for a successful New Year's weight loss resolution. So post festivity time, post whether it is Christmas or some other indulgent phase, after that window of time and indulgence, there is this physiological response that occurs. So your body actually activates a series of processes that actually help you to reverse the excess fat accumulation. So in a way, it's your body's attempt to re-establish an equilibrium or a homeostasis. So it's a compensation mechanism that is put into play where you had an indulgent phase, you put on weight, the body identifies this as a not an ideal scenario, so it will flip to actually implement what we refer to as a fat break. So there we have a picture of fat accumulation. This is toxic, unhealthy fat, and we know all the risks associated with fat accumulation. And this break is applied to stop the body from this ongoing accumulation of fat. So let's put a stop to it, and let's have a look at what actually happens when that gets put into play. So let's have a look at the signs your fat break is actually working. And this does require you being attentive to your body's signals, all right? So what will automatically happen and should happen, but doesn't necessarily happen in every case, is that you will feel more satisfied after a smaller portion of food. Basically, your body is saying, stop eating now, all right? You experience a reduction in your drive and desire to eat, so the cravings start to reduce. You know, perhaps it's also, gee, I'm a little bit over all the indulgence. I'm a bit over all the Christmas puddings and the chocolate, and gee, I've got all these things still in the cupboard, and you've been indulging them, and there comes to a point where the body says, stop, no more. So it's not just maybe an intellectual decision, there's actually a physiological reason as to why that happens. And perhaps you're drawn to consume less food, less rich foods. You're starting to automatically reach for healthier options. As part of the fat break mechanism, there also is an increased desire to be more physically active. So you want to start being more active to actually burn up some of the calories, all right? And so also another thing happens, your body may burn more calories during activity. So not only will you want to be more active, but when you're active, the body actually is running at a higher metabolic rate, what we call like thermogenesis. You are actually burning more fat when you are exercising at this window of time as compared to pre-festivity time. So what's really good here is to actually capitalize on this feature of the fat break to establish some good habits around exercise before the fat break loses traction, because there's actually only a window of time where your fat break is activated. Another compensatory mechanism activated to counteract fat accumulation is to increase the amount of energy the body burns while at rest. So two things: you're burning more fat when you're exercising, but you're also burning more fat while you're resting. So there's actually an increase in body temperature, and that actually shows you that that's happening. So you're finding that there is a direct relationship between body temperature and your resting energy expenditure. So you might find in this window of time you are feeling more warm-blooded. You don't need as many layers on as perhaps what was happening previously. So this is a sign that you're actually in this fat break window. So what we want to do here is to coordinate what your body's doing physiologically by activation of its fat break and commencing your weight loss program simultaneously. So let's work with what nature is doing. Let's capitalize on that, embark on a weight loss program like now, right? And so what we've got here is the synergy of the two working to your advantage. All right, so follow your fat breaks lead by eating less and being more active. Absolutely. You will burn your festive holiday excesses very efficiently in this window of time, more so than any other time. So if someone is leading a rigid, perhaps, diet, and they go on a more stricter diet to lose weight, that's not going to be as impactful if they did follow a diet after a time of indulgence. All right? And the first days to weeks, once one commences a weight loss program, are the easiest as the fat break is in full throttle. Now, the duration of time that the fat break is in action does vary for an individual. So this is why a lot of people actually shift a fair bit of weight once they initially start a program, because it's in full acceleration. You know, you're actually, your foot is on the fat brake and your other foot is on the accelerator for fat burning. So with the fat brake reducing your appetite and you're increasing your energy expenditure, all right, so the fat brake's on, your appetite's down, your body is operating at a faster rate, so you both at exercise, but also at rest. Your body has utilized its stored glycogen, which is stored in our liver and our muscles, right? And there's also some removal of fluid as well, because the program that we advocate includes some great kidney tonics too. But glycogen is actually very water hungry. So when you start breaking down your glycogen, you release some water as well. And so we're already starting the commencement of the fat stores being burned up. So basically, fat is stored energy, okay? So once you've exhausted your glycogen, your body starts to utilize your stored energy, which is fat, as its fuels for your cells to be functional, all right? And so this initial time of weight loss can be quite significant, many kilos in that first week potentially. And so that initial response can be very motivating for anyone starting a weight loss program. And you want to use that momentum and the results to keep you enthusiastic throughout your program. Absolutely, we encourage you to live a clean life and eat well, and a meal plan, which I'll touch on shortly, to maximize the fat burning process. Now, there is a downside around this fat break, because it will deactivate. Now, once you've been losing weight for a while, your body will recognize that you are no longer in energy excess. That is, now, for a window of time, you're actually burning more fat and energy that you are consuming. So we've got this polar opposite happening. So during the feast, okay, you are consuming more calories than what you were burning. Now, in the fat break window of time, we're actually burning more than what consuming. So the body will actually turn the fat break off. It will deactivate it. And so what happens, an increase in your appetite starts to happen, because it's like the pendulum has swung the other way now, and so that will actually reduce. So when the fat brake switches off, in terms of the window of time, is different for different people, and it's dependent on many factors. Number one is dependent on how much excess weight you are carrying to begin with. It's also perhaps how long you've been carrying the weight for, how resistant and toxic and resistant that and stubborn that fat is, how much weight you've already lost. It in part will depend on your genes and your metabolism as well. But for most people, it will likely occur within a couple of weeks, when many people abandon their New Year's resolution to lose weight. So typically, as a general rule, your fat brake may be on for a couple of weeks into a program to lose weight, and then it switches off. And then people plateau, and they're not losing the weight, and they lose heart, okay? So this is when people give up on their goal because they're no longer shifting weight. Now, we have solutions around that clearly, so stay tuned. So some other reasons why there's a downside to the deactivation of your fat brake is that it says it really doesn't stay activated for very long. Even if people don't lose weight, all right, so if people don't necessarily listen to those signals, it will switch off. So if you don't act on your body signals by eating less and moving more, it may come to accept the holiday excess as part of your status quo, and you could be stuck with those holiday kilos for the whole year and beyond. So each year, the fat brake doesn't get activated, and you just keep accumulating. And we see those people every day. Some people actually ignore the fat brake signals. So they actually will feel less hungry. They will have a desire to exercise, but they actually ignore it because the pantry is still full of all these foods. There's too many stimuli around, there's too much good-looking food that they feel that it's going to go to waste, so ignore all those signals. But for some people, unfortunately, the fat brake doesn't get activated at all. So let's explore in a little bit more detail as to why some people's fat brake doesn't get activated. So when there are repeated times of ignoring the signaling of the fat brake, will result in brake failure, and the mechanism actually wears out. So I really believe there's like this biological talent. We said, well, if you're not listening, I'm not going to initiate this fat brake activity. So an increasing and indulgent fast food and gluttonous lifestyle will turn that fat brake off altogether. The impact of environmental toxins, particularly these endocrine disrupting chemicals that we're becoming more and more aware of, like the obesogens, the BPA and the phthalates, etc., will impact on how functional your fat brake is. And as we age, there is a slowing down of metabolism, so there's less activation of the fat brake, and also there's a lack of hormonal signaling too as we age, but sometimes that even happens in a younger person where there's a lack of leptin production. Leptin is a hormone produced by fat cells, so when you eat it actually gets released, signaling satiety. But some people just actually ignore that signal, or it's actually not functioning well. So the upside of this is that we can reactivate your fat brake. We have a mechanism and a strategy to actually make this work to your advantage. So we'll explore that in a moment. I just want to, first of all, ponder on the significant obesity issue that we have. Like 5 million Australians are obese and 14 million of them are overweight. And that's just Australia. So we know we've got a problem out there, and we know we've got a solution to it. But it's just not a case of being overweight. There are a lot of associated health issues that occur synergistically, what we call comorbidities, that occur as you put on weight. So pulmonary disease, the non-alcoholic fatty livers, gallbladder disease, gynecological abnormalities, like infertility and polycystic ovarian syndrome, arthritis. Imagine carrying 5, 10, 20 extra kilos. It's going to, over a period in time, cause stress to joints. Skin conditions, gout, phlebitis, cancer, we know the increased risk of being overweight, not just the abdominal weight, but all sorts of weight in all parts of the body can increase not just bowel cancers, but breast cancer, uterine cancer, cervical cancer, colon, esophageal, pancreas, kidney and prostate cancers. And one of the very obvious ones is the diabetic risk and the high blood pressure risk and so forth, and the stroke risk. So these are real issues that many people will experience as they increase in weight. And the inflammatory process that occurs as well is quite significant too. So when you have an inflammatory process going on, we can see that there are many immunological conditions which will be accelerated because of this acid inflammatory process that is going on at your cellular level. So we can see there's a whole other range of diseases as well which have an immunological focus too. So autoimmune diseases. Even atherosclerosis is now considered to be an autoimmune disease. Psoriasis is. Dementia is an inflammatory disease as well. So when we put people on a particular protocol, we're able to alkalize the body, reduce the acidity, reduce the inflammation, release the fat stores, and all the side benefits that happen are quite significant. So what are some of the issues that are happening? And I think we need to look at what this chart really demonstrates is that previously, 50 to 100 years ago, our nutrition was quite good. And our exposure to toxins and chemicals was comparatively less. You open up grandma's bathroom cabinet and there were like 2 products in there. And they had 1 ingredient or 2 ingredients in them. So you can see now when you open up a typical person's bathroom cabinet, there's 20 products in there. There's 20 ingredients in each product. There's 400 different ingredients there. And what is the interaction and complicity of all these chemicals working together and producing a chemical cocktail? In fact, we joke about chemical calories in many of these products. And so we're leading a more toxic life and our nutrition has lessened. Our food is picked before it's ripe. It's shipped halfway across the world. It's frozen, it's stored, it's processed. So our nutrition is less, our toxins are more, and our health is getting less. Our health is deteriorating. So what do we understand as some of the typical factors that contribute to weight gain? Definitely we know we're overfed and we're undernourished. We're eating too many starchy carbs and sugars and carbohydrates. Where in general, I'm not speaking to every single person on the webinar by any means, but some people just don't exercise enough to keep their metabolism working, and we know there's good lifestyle benefits too. But we also know there's a whole bunch of people out there who exercise considerably every day of the week and still can't shift their weight. So we know exercise is not in its own state a factor for many people to shift weight. In fact, I see some people who exercise and they're putting on more weight because they're putting on muscle, but they're not shifting their fat either. Stress increases cortisol, increases weight gain, lack of sleep, and genetics also play a role. But often what's not considered, and I've already alluded to it already, which can affect the fat rate, is the chemical toxicity, the environmental pollutants, which are so prevalent in our environment today. So a little bit more detail about what these endocrine disrupting chemicals do, that they encourage your body to store fat. They increase the number of your fat cells. They reprogram your cells to become fat cells. And they alter the way in which your body manages hunger and inhibits leptin being released from your fat cells, signaling satiety. These chemicals also downregulate your metabolism, particularly your thyroid, and also affects your hypothalamus, which governs appetite too. So these factors, along with diet and lifestyle, are significantly playing a role in the obesity epidemic. And how do we get all this exposure? Well, you know what? It only takes 26 seconds for chemicals and products that you apply to your skin to be detected in your bloodstream. So dependent on the molecular size of these chemicals will determine how quickly and how much gets absorbed. But you can see by the lower right picture of all these chemicals which actually are present in our fat cells, and the average infant is born with 250 different toxins in their system, some of them having been banned decades ago. So we all need to consider what we're using in our home environment. We all need to consider and become more savvy around reading labels. Who's still using an aluminium antiperspirant? We don't want to use antiperspirants, we want to use deodorants. Who's using toothpaste with questionable ingredients in there? Who's using skincare and shampoos and body washes with talc and SLS, SLES, tallow and so forth? in all these products which are contributing to a toxic load. And there's plenty of evidence in there in the literature today. Is your shampoo making you fat? So this is about the phthalates and the BPAs accumulating in your body, changing the way in which your body stores and metabolizes fat. And there's some really good study and research around this as well. And this was done by the Center for Disease Control and Prevention in the US. And they found that children with increasing girth weight had high levels of BPA in their system. So it is conclusive that BPA plays a role. Where does all this other exposure come from? Well, depending on how many products you may use in your home environment, in industry as well, in your work environment, whether you're inhaling brake dust and you're a mechanic and using products on your hands and grease and petrochemicals and formaldehyde, if you're in, using MDF, medium density fiberboard, there's a lot of formaldehyde in there too. So we are exposed to a lot of chemicals and toxins, but often it's our personal care products which play a role. So that's often transdermally absorbed, but it's what you inhale and what you ingest as well all plays a role, and they all can impact on weight and skin conditions and so forth. So in summary on that little bit, we know the consumption of too many calories and a sedentary lifestyle are not the sole cause of weight gain. Endocrine disrupting chemicals and toxins are contributing to fat stores, and they will turn off your fat brake. So what's the solution? Well, the Easy Fat Release program, I feel, is a significant solution that people can embrace, and certainly over the last 4.5, 5 years that I've been working with this program, I know that we've supported over 10,000 people in this particular program. And there's actually 3 components. I'm going to connect the fat brake to this analogy as well. So phase 1 is about nutritional support and detoxification. Phase 2 is about fat release, and there's a few different phases there. And phase 3 is about maintenance. So let's have a look at each one particularly. But also, before we get into the nitty-gritty of the diet and the supplements, I really want to impress upon you the importance of detoxing your home. Because a lot of people can't get their head around perhaps the importance of chemicals and toxins. They just think it's about diet and exercise and maybe some nutrition or supplements to get things moving. But if you continue to use toxic loaded home care and personal care products, you're putting the toxins back in your system. So you want to reduce the obesogens, the endocrine disruptors in the home for a successful weight loss outcome and long-term health benefits, all right? You can Google all this stuff now. The literature is out there. So let's swap over. And I used a brand called Madeira, and I know some people on the webinar here tonight are already using these products. So we've just simply swapped over to the things you're buying anyway. We all shop for laundry powders and dishwashing liquids, shampoos, shaving gels, some skincare, some moisturizer, and so forth. So it's not as though you're having to buy more product. You're simply changing the way in which you're actually accessing your products. You're getting them from a different store. In fact, you're getting them from an online store. And so that's what we do. So encourage you all to swap over, have a look at all the things you're using in the home, and make a wiser choice. It's important to detox your diet. So just a really quick snapshot of some of the foods that are part of this program. In summary, it's a live clean diet. It's a whole food program. It's an unprocessed meal plan, all right? So lots of greens, good veggies in there. It's more vegetable based than fruit based, though you're allowed to serve a fruit, absolutely. It is good quality proteins as well. Some good quality nuts and seeds, some dairy, all right? Plenty of variety to choose from, and it also is portion controlled as well. Let's move on to detoxing and nutritionally supporting your body. So there's 2 words here that I really want you to focus on, the detox and nutritional support. So we want toxins out and good nutrition in. And it's not a question of to detox or not to detox, but rather one of how often and how do I best detox. See, a lot of weight loss programs out there do not implement a nutritional cleanse and detox regime. Therefore, many people experience unpleasant symptoms as toxins and obesogens are released from their fat and enter the bloodstream and keep on being circulated around the body instead of being eliminated. So that's why some people feel tired and headachy, their skin breaks out in pimples, or their complexion goes a bit, murky and whatnot. So a lot of people feel very negative around the word detoxification because they've heard of the bad experience of someone else, or maybe they themselves had that similar experience. But what's key about this program, and I reiterate again, as we're pulling toxins out, we're putting good nutrition back into your cells. And this is why, on the whole, nearly every single person actually feels well during the course of this program, because we're flooding your cells with some really good quality nutrition. And as much as you put your car in for a service, you need to treat your body in the same way. Some people absolutely look after their car better than they do their body. And we want to do an all-system cleanse. We want to clean up your blood, your lymph, your liver, gallbladder, pancreas, kidneys, intestine. We want to clear up all your cells. We want to get rid of many toxins as we possibly can. And this strategy actually does that. So what we're doing is quite different to what other programs are doing. So what other programs are doing is what's on the top of your screen there. Is that people start dieting or they do a boot camp. They're not getting rid of any of the toxins first. So when you shift 20 kilos, per kilo of body weight, you have a higher concentration of toxins, and the body will actually rebound by putting on more weight to compensate for the closer proximity of these toxins to your kidney, liver, lungs, heart, brain, etc. So we don't want that to happen. We want your body to detox and nutritionally support it first. Then let's do some weight loss strategies, okay? So the risk of rebound is considerably less. So we're going to read together. I want you to read with me down the bottom. When toxins and impurities are eliminated with a detox and nutritional supplement cleansing regime, and you reduce your ongoing exposure by choosing safe personal and home care alternatives, you can achieve long-term results. Okay, so for example, phase one is typically a 28-day window. This is phase one, nutritional support and detoxification. So what's happening here is that if you're embracing this program post-festivity, okay, so you're naturally activating your fat break in this window of time over 28 days, all right? And we'll have a look at how that gets modified during phase 2 and 3. But let's just talk about phase 1. So phase 1, people will get result. Phase 1 is more about detoxing and nutritional support, but people will shift weight in phase 1 absolutely, anywhere from 2 to 12 kilos, right? Typically it's 2 to 5. The 12-kilo people are ones who perhaps have 20, 30 kilos to shift, but we've had people shift 12 kilos in phase 1. And so the fat break is absolutely activated during this window of time because we're really combining a combination of factors to work synergistically to have you shift the weight effectively in this first window of time as well. So there's a bunch of supplements we put you on. In fact, there are 9 different supplements that we're going to connect you with. And the supplements we access are manufactured and produced by a company called Modere. Again, some of you have heard about this company that are on the webinar, and we'll connect you shortly with that. I'm just going to touch very quickly on some of these products. So we put you on a natural mineral solution product. These are colloidal minerals. These are giving you your minerals that your diet isn't giving you anymore because of over-harvesting. You can see bottom right there what the scenario now is that we have much less concentration of minerals and trace elements in our soils. So our food is hollow. It's not giving us enough nutrition, and that's why we're hungry. That's why our cells are hungry, because there's not enough nutrition in our food. So we tend to eat more. And it is in the eating more food that we eat more calories and carbs and sugars and so forth. We need to get on a very powerful antioxidant with grapeseed and pine bark and turmeric and some vitamins in here as well. So this will slow down the aging process. It will also reduce the risk of saggy skin. You know, who's seen all those programs on TV, the Biggest Loser and so forth? They end up with these abdominal aprons and saggy skin because they didn't do a comprehensive holistic program. So we've had people shift 50 kilos and have no saggy skin at all, because there are ingredients in this product and some of the others too that support a return of elasticity, a restoration of the elasticity in your connective tissue. We've had people with stretch marks due to pregnancies and being overweight come on the program, and they've actually disappeared. And the benefit of the antioxidant as well, it's going to mop up a lot of free radicals as well. Let's put you on a multivitamin, but not just a multivitamin, but a product that actually is going to clear out some plaque in your arteries. So this really, I suppose, epitomizes what detoxification is all about, not just the endocrine disrupting chemicals from your fat stores, but let's clear out some plaque in your arteries. And this is why we're seeing people with blood pressure improving, cholesterol improving, and reducing their drugs in conjunction with their doctors. But this is going to give you some energy and stamina as well. Let's get you on a green key product, an alkalizer. Many of you heard the benefits of green powders, and this is one absolutely that contains about 30 different greens like your chlorellas and your spirulina and wheatgrass and barley grass and kale and so forth. So this will, by virtue of its anti-inflammatory action, by virtue of its alkalizing, will suddenly up your pH, and when your body increases its pH just subtly, it will surrender many of these toxins and heavy metals as well. It will also reduce the inflammation, which obesity is an inflammatory process, and all those comorbidities that I spoke about before will automatically start reducing as we alkalize your body. It's really important to embrace a really top quality premium grade probiotic, and this is one that we have here. So it's a combination of a prebiotic and probiotic in 2 separate sachets, delivering a significant volume of good probiotics to your body to support the proliferation of your good bacteria. Okay, so probiotics just don't give you and replace you with good bacteria. It basically kills a lot of the bad bacteria to allow your body to manufacture its own good bacteria. So it's helping your probiotics that are naturally occurring to proliferate and give you good health. And this has a role in gut health, not just gut health, but immune health, but autoimmune diseases as well. Where would a detox program be without a premium quality liver cleanser? And so with dandelion, St. Mary's thistle, broccoli, some vitamins as well, this is what this product is doing, supporting phase 1 and 2 detoxification in your liver and helping with these non-alcoholic fatty livers. And we've seen people whose livers have improved significantly with this program. Some people who carry excess weight are carrying excess fluid as well. So let's help support the kidneys, and this is also alkalizing too. So it's not just as though one product is alkalizing. A lot of the products are working together to alkalize your body and reduce all the inflammatory process. And you can see by the bottom right there, all the illnesses which are associated with chronic inflammation. Is it any wonder we see all the side benefits of allergies and heart disease and chronic pain and arthritis and diabetes just evaporating as people's bodies start functioning a whole lot better. Essential fatty acids are key to this program as well throughout phase 1, 2 and 3. So here's a product with not just krill oil in it, but it has evening primrose, linseed, chia and cranberry and alpha-lipoic acid. So a nice combination of omega-3, 6 and 9s in your system. And these will help detoxify, also help fat burning, right? These types of fats are also fat metabolizers, but also they're going to help with inflammation and hormones and skin and brain function, immunity and so forth. So this is a far-reaching product, and particularly those people with arthritic issues are going to find that their joints start becoming so much more supple. And to help clear out a lot of the toxins in your gut, it's really good to put you on a premium quality fiber product, which has some probiotic in here as well, just to get rid of all these mucoid plugs and these little areas of maybe diverticular, and to clean out some of the toxins and old fecal material that's stored in the bowel there as well. And we know all the benefits of having extra fiber in your diet too. D3 plus, there are some studies which show deficiency of vitamin D is also implicated in abdominal obesity. So let's get some extra vitamin D, and the plus is some extra minerals. So some calcium, some potassium, some iodine, some iron. Let's help your thyroid gland. Let's help your stress as well with magnesium and so forth. So there's about 9 other macro minerals in this preparation, which will help your body work more optimally as well. So that gives you a bit of a window of what phase 1 is all about. So let's have a look at phase 2. Okay, so perhaps by the end of phase 1, the fat break has actually slowed down, but you haven't released all your fat yet. Or maybe you're doing it in a window of time which isn't necessarily preceded by a window of festivity. So yes, you can do this program at any time of the year, but what we're really doing is capitalizing on this time of the year to really draw on the fat break which is occurring now, as perhaps as many of you have slowed down your indulgent activities. So what we're doing here is the 2 days of preparation. So as I say, phase 1 is 28 days. Phase 2 is anywhere from 21 to 28 to 40 days, depending on how much weight you need to shift. All right, so that's a very simple equation there. So what we're doing here, 2 days of preparation, 3 days of kickstart, and fat loss will go for either 18 to 35 days, depending on which program you're on, and then a couple of days of transition. So the preparation is actually your mini festivity window. We used to actually call it a loading phase. So this is a 48-hour window where we're actually indulging on some really healthy indulgences here. Okay, so maybe Christmas, New Year, they weren't all healthy, but we really encourage you to indulge in more your good oils. You know, it doesn't mean to say you can't have some naughty things in this window of time, but we really want you to focus on having good quality fats and oils. So that might be your avocados, your nuts and your seeds, things like that, to indulge in that to actually create the fat break post 48 hours. So we're actually creating an artificial festivity window to actually kickstart the fat break in the 3 days of protein. So kickstart is really dominated by a protein window. So significantly, people shift quite a number of kilos over those 3 days, what we have found. So the fat break has now become reactivated because it would have slowed down by the end of week 3 or 4 in phase 1. We want to kickstart that again to keep the momentum going. And so the strategy of diet and supplements will actually allow that to happen. So let's very quickly have a look at what phase 2 looks like. So we continue on 5 of our core nutrition that were there in phase 1. We introduce some phase 2 products, and I'll touch on, and a homeopathic easy fat release preparation which activates specifically the fat break and accesses your stored fat stores and burns them up as energy. We're maintaining your muscle mass and really just focusing on the abnormal fat stores. We want you to keep some normal fat between your organs for cushioning, but we're really grabbing hold of these abnormal fat stores and using that stored fat as an energy source. We're resetting your appetite, we're resetting the hypothalamus, we're helping your thyroid function better. So very quickly, yes, there's a protein powder which you may choose to utilize. It's not a compulsory product in phase 2. I definitely encourage it because it's a clean, green, vegetarian, vegan protein. It's a good, clean protein which you can use as a meal replacement or as a snack or not at all. It's personal choice. We have a carb blocker which you'll actually only take at times when we want you to live realistically as well when you're out there in the world. There may be certain dinners or functions which you have to attend. So this product actually inhibits the enzyme that breaks down your carbohydrates to simple sugars, because whenever you break down carbohydrates to sugars, your body secretes your insulin, and insulin is a fat storing hormone. Okay, so it converts your sugars into fat. So we don't want blood sugar to rise to release insulin. So this will stop that. And alternatively, this next product called Sugar Balance, which is rich in cinnamon, is a very good diabetic agent as well, but it will stop the peaking of your blood sugar. So we can use both of these to capture the carb blocker to stop that process of, or at least reduce that process of converting carbs to sugars. But those sugars that are in the system, hey, let's inhibit the elevation of blood sugar so you don't start releasing insulin and fat store as well. PEP is a product we can use in phase 2. We typically don't use it due to the green coffee bean content. But I spoke with a lady today who's like 70 years plus and was doing really well. This is the second cycle of her program, having done it about 5 years ago. You know, she's only 4'10", I think, and originally as broad as she was tall. And so she released significant weight first time round. This time round, you know, she's got about 15 kilos to shift, but she found she plateaued. So we could introduce this product away from the homeopathic drops to just help her kickstart her fat loss again. So a few other stories just to share with you as well. Here's Jackie, who actually saw the results that Mandy had. That said, you know, well, crikey, you know, you look amazing. I want what you're on. And Jackie, when I spoke with her, basically said, Renee, I'm really happy that I've lost all the weight and I've transferred my physical self, and, you know, confidence has really grown. But she says, what I'm most grateful for is the fact I don't have headaches and migraines anymore. So how often were you having headaches and migraines, Jackie? Nearly every single day for the last 30 years. Her life was dominated by headaches and migraines. And being on the program, converting her home, getting on the Medare supplements, she no longer suffers from headaches and migraine. And she's basically gone 2 years without a headache or migraine. She looks different, she's transformed her shape, and she's transformed her health. A couple of other quick pictures as well. Ramona released 9.5 kilos in 40 days during phase 2, shift a few kilos in phase 1, but the bulk of the weight we tend to find shift in phase 2. Now, people doing other weight loss programs, they find that it just plateaus. You know, they might take advantage of the fat break and they'll lose those few kilos over the first couple of weeks, but then it all just stops, right? That's because the fat break has been deactivated. But we know now through the implementation of this comprehensive holistic program how to reactivate the fat break and use the other supportive measures in place by supporting thyroid function and so forth as well. So once you complete phase 2, you've gone through preparation 2 days, kickstart 3 days, fat loss depending on how long you need to on, and then transition off the homeopathic drops. We then enter into phase 3 maintenance. And you're on phase 3 for as long as you were on phase 2 for. And phase 2 is also very unique to this particular program, and many other programs don't have a maintenance window because, like, you know, I don't think you need to be Einstein to look at the fact when people go on a weight loss program, they stop that weight loss program and they go back to what they're doing before. They typically end up exactly where they were before. So what we're doing over the course of this program is teaching good habits around exercise, food choices, portion size. You've certainly got used to taking a range of supplements and nutritionals, and I made no excuse for the range of products we have here because a lot of people are overweight due to abuse over many, many years, and that means whether it's self-abuse of foods, but also environmental abuse of the accumulation of toxins and chemicals in the body. So we need to clear those toxins out and to lock in the healthier weight. And so when you are able to lock that in for a same window of time that you're in phase 2 for, you're basically, as the word suggests, you're locking in that healthier weight and you're maintaining, even after the program, some supportive products as well. So this is my brother-in-law, Colin, type 2 insulin-dependent diabetic, who shifted a few kilos in phase 1, shifted 20 kilos in phase 2 over 40 days, and was able to drop his insulin from 15 units 3 times a day to 5 units twice a day. So some really clinically significant outcomes, and truly, I believe, reducing his risk of diabetic complications later in life, because we know what they are, whether it's gangrene and diabetic retinopathies and nephropathies as well, renal disease and so forth. So they're real. And here is Colin's wife, who is my sister Karen, and she did the program 5 years ago. released 19.5 kilos in 40 days. She's done the program again. She went to Europe and boat cruise and put on some weight, and clearly due to, and I've done it as well, self-indulgences. And the thing is, people know that there's a solution with this program. People know that even if they did put weight on due to their own errors, they can go back and do the program and get a result. That's what's really key. The program is clearly anti-aging, as what you can see here with Danny. She released 12.8 kilos in 40 days. She looks like her 18-year-old daughter. So skin tone is amazing. The face is different. She was carrying excess abnormal fat in her face as well. So the great thing about this program, some people don't carry weight in their face. And so you won't lose any weight in your face because the program targets the abnormal fat stores. Okay, this is what's great about the program. Some people are concerned that they'll end up looking gaunt. Doesn't happen. Some people may have a significant amount of weight to shift. And so Ricky, that was her case. She did the program, released 21 kilos in her 40-day phase 2. She had a break after locking it in, then having a 4-week break and coming back on the program, repeating again phase 2, shifted another 20 kilos, all up 41 kilos. Totally transforming her body shape and her long-term health. Lynn also had an experience where she had to do a couple of rotations to the program as well, and has done 44 kilos in total, but not just about body shape and aesthetics. She was diagnosed with a fatty liver, which her GP said would kill her. Her liver was normal. This is what we call the non-alcoholic fatty liver, the NAFL, which we're reading more and more about in the papers and the magazines and the literature. So hers wasn't due to alcohol. This is due to lifestyle. This is due to the arthritic hips and the 20-year-long varicose veins and the acne rosacea all disappeared within 5 weeks of her getting on this program. And you can see the difference there. Someone else who did a couple of cycles of the program as well. So Georgia released 22 kilos in her 40 days, had a break, went back, did another short 21-day cycle and shifted a further 8 kilos. So we're doing it healthily way. And what I want to talk about too, we can Google things around fat loss and the rate of fat loss. In fact, more studies are showing that people who lose weight 2 to 4 kilos a week, which is considered quicker, are more likely to maintain their commitment to their program, or more likely to be motivated, are less likely to rebound with weight gain. This is the science coming out now, because once before, it was a misnomer that, oh, no, you have to do it slowly. Well, so many people failed slowly. It was a joke. So this is a very effective, rapid weight loss in a healthy way, achieving long-term results. And someone who's done 3 rotations here, Christy, 24 kilos plus over 3 cycles of doing the program. Total body transformation. The round belly, the round face. So she did shift some weight in her face as well as the belly, hips and thighs also. So she's a real testimony to the benefits of this program. So just to round it up now with how we can support you to access these products. Some of you have heard of Modere previously, and they are basically a live clean company providing high performance, premium quality products online that are safe, that are effective, and that are affordable. And that's what people are looking for. They're looking for good quality formulas. They're going to deliver a result that you can get online. You can have them delivered to wherever you are in Australia or the world for that matter, and have these results duplicated. So in essence, there are no harsh chemicals in these products. They're environmentally friendly. They are effective. They're powerful formulas. They are affordable, and they're very concentrated, so you get great value for your money, basically. And Modere and I too have a mission to help 10 million healthy homes live clean by the year 2020. Now, I've been using these products for the last 18 years, both within my family, but also within my naturopathic homeopathic practice, and I can vouch for their efficacy. So this is a brand that you really want to embrace and simply transition over to what you're currently using to this safer product range. And many of you haven't heard of this brand either, because they are a brand new retail online brand. In fact, being launched just September of last year. They have a first of its kind social retail model, and our vision is to help people live clean, shop smarter, and be rewarded. So they looked at some of the really popular marketing tools out there, such as Uber, where they use the promo code. So Medare has actually embraced this particular social marketing tool and supporting people to purchase and get a $10 discount, and customers can also get $10 credits by referring other people to get their products and also generate their own $10 discount as well. So this brand is basically social marketing. It is about talking about results. It's talking about effective results, genuine results, true and real people getting amazing results worldwide and sharing the brand. They have a whole range of products, not just related to weight loss or fat release, but they've got some amazing skincare products, some hair care products, laundry products, kitchenware, body, mouth, dental, clean living, but also targeting some specific health areas as well, because a lot of people are really challenged by hormonal problems, infertility, endometriosis, polycystic ovaries. There are people who want an active health and support their sporting prowess and put muscle on. So even the pea protein that I spoke about that can be used as part of this weight loss strategy can be used to put muscle on, and a weight gain, as in muscle gain strategy too, by adding that as an addition to your daily healthy meal plan. And general nutrition, there are products here for everyone. You know, if you're living and breathing, you need to top up, and this range of products certainly provides you with quality products to top up nutritionally. So how do you get started? So register with Medare for free. So everyone can register with Medare for free to purchase your products at the most economical price. So you actually purchase them for the same price that I purchase my products as a customer. You actually access the Phase 1 Nutrition Detox Collection along with those additional products, which include the fiber, the D3, and the EFA krill. Absolutely wholeheartedly encourage you to access, say, the Essentials Collection, which is like a bathroom pack of products, and you can see there's toothpaste and mouthwash and shampoos, conditioners, hair serum, shaving gel, tender care, body lotions, and so forth. So, 9 or so different products to really convert your bathroom over, and some home care products. And these are A grade quality products that are biodegradable and eco-friendly, because we all need to wash some clothes and we all need to clean up around the home. So these are some great products to actually support you in that. So there's a really effective way to get started with your Phase 1 Detox and Nutrition Collection, your home care products, and your Essential Homes pack as well. So you can grab them as all as packs too. And then simply once you complete Phase 1 or nearing the completion of Phase 1, you actually access your Phase 2 products. And so that's a very effective way to move forward. So I think I've done really well to cover this in the hour. There's a lot of information here, but I really just wanted to share with you the philosophy of the program, and also having an understanding of this fat break, how you can have it work to your advantage. So I would really love for any of you out there to, whether you have some weight to shift yourself, this is the key time to get started. But if you don't, you can get started anyway, because we're actually creating that mini environment in you to maximize a particular outcome in terms of effective, rapid and easy fat release. So reconnect with the person who invited you onto the webinar. They'll show you how to connect with Medare and can help get you started, help you access your products. They could be at your door by Thursday or Friday of this week, and you can start really transforming your health and your well-being today. And remember, this is not just a program about fat release, but it's a program about improving your health and your well-being in all regards. We're seeing allergies, we're seeing fibromyalgia, we're seeing chronic inflammatory bowel disease, all improving over the course of this program. So don't see it just as weight loss, see it as a holistic health and wellness program. And if you don't have any weight to shift, certainly embrace the phase 1 program, as that will detox your body anyway and will balance your system out more effectively. So phase 1 is available for every single person to take on board. And you want to be doing phase 1 at least once a year. And if you are in industries that are more toxic and your exposure is more and you're at high risk, you want to actually probably do that for twice a year. And it's just a 1 month window each time to really effectively support your body nutritionally and get rid of those toxins. Well, I hope I've really been able to impart the benefits of the program to you. If you have any questions, feel free to connect with your support person or myself, and we'll certainly guide you in the right direction. So thank you for joining, and it's good night.